Welcome back. Now, according to statistics, South Africa has one of the lowest organ donation rates in the world. Only 0.3% of the population are organ donors, and yet there are at least 4,300 South Africans desperately waiting for a transplant on any given day. We continue our conversation with Samantha Nichols, the Executive Director of the Organ Donor Foundation of South Africa, and Gabby Lowe from the Jenna Lowe Trust. Thank you so much for coming back.
Thank you.
I can't understand why there are so few people who are donating and why it's not law almost.
Yes. Well, in countries like Spain, I think this is so Spain has the highest rate of organ donors in the world. And their success is actually not from the fact that you need to opt out of being an organ donor. It's because in Spain they have a very educated population, and in every single hospital they have someone like, we call them transplant coordinators in South Africa. They are someone they're normally nurses, ICU nurses, who are contacted if there's a potential donor in a hospital.
Yes.
So what happens is, in South Africa, we've only got a handful, probably about 30 transplant coordinators in the entire country. They have one in every single hospital, something like 480 in Spain. So it's also an identification problem at this stage in South Africa where, yes, there isn't enough awareness around the subject.
Yeah.
And countries like Spain and Australia have government funding, which we unfortunately don't as the Organ Donor Foundation. But it's also that doctors are very aware that if there is a potential donor in the ICU, they refer them immediately as donors.
Because if there isn't a transplant coordinator, does it mean that somebody could potentially be a donor and then they miss out on it?
Absolutely.
Oh no, that is terrible.
There are even situations where doctors have turned off the machine without calling a transplant coordinator and referring.
Because it's not top of mind for them.
Absolutely.
So they need a constant reminder that
education.
The organs are needed. Oh. Now, Kaylin Yonker was diagnosed with polycystic kidney disease and recently received an organ donation. And we have her on the line to chat to us. Hi, Kaylin, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, thanks, and you?
Very, very well, thank you. Congratulations, I think, on getting an organ. Tell us a little bit about your journey.
So my journey started at the age of 2 months. 4 months, sorry. And from there, I got a kidney at the age of 4 from my father, and it lasted me basically until I was 18 in matric.
Wow. And now you've just gotten another one, or you need another one?
No, I just got another one after being on dialysis for 7 years.
Wow, and what was that experience like?
The experience on dialysis was quite hard because I couldn't study what I wanted to study and everything. But I can now move on with my life and study what I want to.
Amazing. All because somebody donated their kidney to you. Do you know the person?
I unfortunately don't know the person.
Okay. I watched that movie with Will Smith when he donated his organs, but then somebody had, you know, when there's something of that person that connects with you. Do you think that's possible? No.
Well, it's not allowed in South Africa. You're not allowed to know who your donor is.
Oh, really?
Yes, yeah.
Why is that?
I'm not really sure. Look, I think it's quite difficult for a lot of people, for donor families and for recipients. We know of situations where they've almost met, but I can imagine it's quite hard. If your heart is beating or it's someone else's child, it must be quite difficult. So at this stage, it remains confidential in South Africa.
Yeah. Thank you so much to our caller for giving us a call, and congratulations on your journey. Wow, it's such a fantastic conversation, and it's so important. Is everything donatable, or can you decide what you want to donate and what you can't?
Absolutely. Do you want to answer?
No, you can decide, but everything is donatable, but you can decide. So some people have an issue about giving away their heart or their eyes, or, you know, then you can say, you can specify, I'm happy to be an organ donor, but I don't want to donate my heart.
And then if somebody is still alive, like I know you said with kidneys, you can donate a kidney while you're still alive.
Yes.
What is that process like?
So normally it has to be someone, the donor and recipient need to know each other generally, because the process goes through the Department of Health, because there can be no money exchanging hands. It's obviously illegal to buy and sell organs in South Africa. But they are looking at the option of something called altruistic non-directed donation. That's just a very fancy term for a complete stranger being a donor. They are looking at the process now in South Africa, because if often we get people that phone us and say, I want to give my kidney to anyone. I don't
Really?
Yes, absolutely. We get lots of people that do that.
That's beautiful. And I mean, this is a bad question, but why would somebody want to do that? Because are there any risks? Like, can you live with one kidney?
Yes, absolutely. A normal life.
Yes, you can.
So then that's great. Why don't we just take those kidneys?
And you can absolutely, in Johannesburg, they're doing a part of your liver. So your liver's got 2 lobes, and your liver regenerates.
Yeah.
So they can do part of a parent to a child, a liver, and then it regenerates in the child. Wow. It's a lot more risky, so they don't normally do it from adult to adult, but they do that living donation also of liver, a lobe of your liver.
I read recently that the 3D printing organs is becoming a thing. I mean, how far are we from that in South Africa?
I think
in South Africa, we're pretty far.
I think we're pretty far, and I think something like that would be quite expensive.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at, you get mechanical devices that can keep you alive for 3 months. There's something called an LVAD, there is a Berlin heart, but, you know, that only is for a certain time, and it costs a fortune, and sometimes medical aids don't cover that sort of thing. So best option is a human organ.
Yeah. So we're way off that. I mean, we only now have lung transplants available in Cape Town.
Yeah.
So
Only now.
when Jen got her transplant, we had to move to Johannesburg within 4 hours because there were no lung transplants.
Why? Are there no doctors capable of doing it? Or?
Because lung transplants are so incredibly tricky. I think that was the main reason. But now, as a direct result of Jen, in fact, there are now lung transplants available at Groote Schuur for state patients, which was her wish, that state patients should have access to lung transplants.
Wow, she's got such an incredible legacy. Wow,
Yeah.
thank you to her. Now, we continue the conversation with our guests after the break. Remember to join the conversation online and ask us any questions that you have about organ donation. Tweet us at Afternoon Chat using the official hashtag Afternoon Express or comment on our Facebook page. We'll be right back.